We're going to look at the technicals, the key levels on the charts, what's moving today, where are the trade levels, all of that detail throughout stocks, commodities, and crypto. We're going to get right into it. So no time to delay.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, Gareth Soloway dives into the latest updates on crypto and Bitcoin, sharing his expert insights and predictions for the market's future. Let's catch him up to know more.
Look at this drop here in the S&P futures into the open this morning. So big drop to the downside. This was on the back of a jobs report. We came in at 256,000 jobs added in December, right? So again, that was above the 164,000 that had been expected. So almost 100,000 additional jobs added. Now, most people will say they'll revise that number. That's fine. They may. Just remember, it doesn't really matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because the markets are reacting to this number. Just it. So as a trader, all I care about is what's causing the market to make that move. That's what I trade. I trade that price action. Always remember that, guys. Now, whether they revise this down later on, who the heck knows? And honestly, who the heck cares, really, when it comes to trading? Now, for other reasons, maybe we care. But overall, for trading, the number is what it is, and the chart reaction is what it is. All right, so we have a big drop in the S&P this morning. It was already trading down going into that number by just a little bit, and now we're getting a much bigger drop. Now, yields spiked higher, and that's really the culprit here, right? Let's take a look at the 10-year yield. Here's your 10-year yield. The 10-year yields have been a thorn in the market side now for quite some time. Remember just the kind of the poetic nature of how ridiculous the system is at this point. The Fed drops interest rates by 100 basis points over the last 4 or 5 months. Interest rates go up 110 basis points into today, now 120 when you add another 10 basis points onto that. So, again, a difference of 220 basis points from where the Fed pushed rates down to and where the yield on the 10-year actually went to. Again, why is this? Let's discuss. The basics of it is that a strong economy means that there's less likely chances of Fed rate cuts and there's more chance of upticks in inflation. Now, why is a strong economy oftentimes yield or create inflation? Because when people are doing well, and listen, we know there's a divergence, right? You have people that have been invested in the stock market. Well, the stock market was hitting new all-time highs all year last year. The wealth effect made them do well. Then you have everyone else who's not invested that's suffering because of inflation. But for the point of consumer spending, that's the zone that you want to go with, right? That's the zone that you want to go with. So, in other words, what we have here is a market that is ultimately pushing yields higher because consumers are doing well, they're spending, and that is inflationary because it's more competition for goods. Okay, so what else do we have here? We have the 10-year yield pushing up. It hit a high of 4.79. It's backing off just a little bit.
Bitcoin's price hovered under $95,000 on January 11, following a day of significant volatility that analysts called a bearish overreaction to U.S. employment data. After briefly dropping toward $92,000, Bitcoin saw a rapid rebound with a $2,000 hourly candle, hitting new local highs before consolidating again within a familiar range. This turbulent response mirrored a broader market downturn, as risk assets like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite Index ended January 10 down approximately 1.5%. Charles Edwards, founder of Capriole Investments, described the market's reaction to the strong employment report as exaggerated, suggesting it might even benefit the longer-term bull run. Edwards pointed out parallels to the March 2020 COVID-19 crash, where similar sentiment shifts preceded a strong recovery. Other analysts like Michael Van de Poppy predicted an upward trend within the next 2 weeks, provided Bitcoin avoids dropping below critical support levels around $88,000. Despite the market's current caution, some see this as a critical moment for accumulation. Popular Analytics account Bitcoin Data 21 emphasized the importance of Bitcoin holding above $90,000 to avoid further declines. The accompanying data, including relative strength index readings, showed crypto markets nearing key support, signaling potential for a sharp recovery. If Bitcoin can maintain these levels, it may rebound strongly, averting a prolonged downtrend and reinforcing bullish momentum for the weeks ahead.
If we look at NVIDIA on the pre-market, you can see it dipped on that jobs report. It's bounced back a little, still negative. Overall, NVIDIA, nothing's changed from what I talked about earlier this week. Wide range engulfing red candle, nasty candle there, right off double top, upsloping trend line. Again, you can't pick a better technical reversal as you saw here. Downside support today, I'm going to watch this 133 to 132 trend line. Notice where this trend line comes from. On a technical day trading basis, that would be support, but I would not be swing trading it. It's too high up on the chart. You can see, again, where it's come from January to where it is now. At some point, I do fear this breaks, and then you get that big cascade to the downside. Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla this morning, just see what's going on there. Tesla, again, a down early in the day, trading around this 390, 391 level. For me on Tesla, it stays the same. I'm just looking for this level. Once it gets here, that'll be interesting to see the price action. Does it bounce? Does it start to go back up? Does it break? But this is your first support at around 360 to 359. Again, that would be a level to watch. All right, we got to get into Bitcoin, guys. You guys, I've given you literally the keys to the castle on Bitcoin here. Have given you the resistance levels, the support levels, and once again, that support level tag. Let's go over to the big board and check it out. Okay, so we've talked about this, right? I kept on saying to you guys, listen, just as long as you're staying inside of here, there's nothing to do, right? It's chop. It's chop. You can see broke here, tagged here. Then it pushed back up, tagged again, went back up, tagged here, came down, tagged here, went up, basically tagged there, and there it's tagged. And so again, I always caution people from letting the emotion take over, right? Emotion is your worst friend when it comes to investing. You have to remain unemotional, logical. Everything is logic. That's why technicals are so nice, because it literally takes it away from me thinking or feeling or whatever those emotions are to just like, that's your line. That's your line. And sure enough, we've seen that price action. So many people were starting to get all excited when it was up here. I understand the emotion, but on a technical basis, as I guided you in this game plan, there was nothing to do. There was no excitement there. Shouldn't have been, because you hadn't broken that level right there. Same thing on the downside, right? I mean, like, again, it is what it is. So now all of a sudden the bears might be coming out of the woodwork and say, oh, well, here we go, here we go. Well, no, nothing yet, right? It hasn't broken. Now, at some point, if it breaks, okay, now that's where, and I've said this before, if you break and confirm here, you're going down here, 74 to 75K, right? If you can break up here, you have 108, so this is going to be all one level, essentially, right over here. But if you break through that, you go to about 115. That'll probably be 116, 117 in a few days, because it's an upsloping trend line, so it keeps on rising as it goes. But again, wait for it. You know, people love to anticipate because they think they're getting an edge. People that anticipate generally take losses because, again, they're using their emotion to push themselves in that direction. And emotion ultimately is what the big institutions feed off of. They know that we are ruled generally as a public, right? People are ruled by emotion. So if they can push something a little bit in one direction, they know it's going to bring in a whole new swath of investors on the long side, which then gives them that exit liquidity. How much have I talked about exit liquidity to you guys when we're talking about the stock market, right? So you get this one-day move up last Friday, right? Last Friday, we had this great rally going into the weekend. It was almost poetic in the way that it made it, you know, you could argue that it essentially was the perfect time to have a rally in the market because it was into the weekend. So here you have investors that before last Friday, they were like, oh boy, look at this market. I mean, you know, hey, it's the new year. Why aren't we going up? Da-da-da. Then you get the rally on Friday, right? And everyone's like, oh, okay, here we go. This is great. You know, everything's okay. And they get bullish again. And by Monday, they're ready to put that money back in the market. They're not holding back. They're pushing it in the market. And then you know what happens? Sell, 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 sell. And look at what the stock market's done, right?
The U.S. Department of Justice is set to sell 69,370 Bitcoin, valued at over $6.5 billion, which was seized from the notorious Silk Road darknet marketplace. This decision follows a December 30 court ruling that resolved a legal dispute with Battleborn Investments, a group claiming ownership of the Bitcoin through a bankruptcy estate. The case unraveled when Battleborn failed to disclose the identity of the individual who surrendered the Bitcoin, granting the DOJ full control of the assets. The urgency of the sale stems from Bitcoin's notorious price volatility, a factor acknowledged by the court. However, the announcement has stirred concerns within the crypto community about the potential for market disruption. Some fear that such a large-scale sale could trigger a sharp decline in Bitcoin's value. CryptoQuant CEO Kai-Young Ju remains optimistic, arguing that the market's resilience, demonstrated by handling $379 billion in inflows last year, could absorb the sale without significant turmoil. Meanwhile, El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele suggested this could be an opportunity for investors to purchase Bitcoin at lower prices, albeit with potential for increased volatility. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.